Welcome to Selling in the Age of AI.
Yeah, this is good stuff. So,
Must-listen podcast for sales professionals who lean into technology without leaning on it. Dive into the future of sales with your host, the dynamic and inspiring Frank Somma, renowned keynote speaker, best-selling author, seminar leader, and business coach. Get ready for game-changing insights and strategies that value technology but place humanity at the top of the sales pyramid.
Benvenuti a tutti. Welcome everyone to Selling in the Age of AI, the podcast where we respect the tech but place human-to-human contact squarely at the top of the sales pyramid. I'm Frank Somma, and today I am thrilled to tell you that we have an incredible guest from deep within the world of AI. Nishkam Batta is the founder and CEO of Honest AI, GreyCyan, where he helps mid-sized companies use AI to drive smarter decisions, boost efficiency, and grow revenue. With a background in business engineering and e-commerce marketing, he brings a practical perspective on applying AI where it matters most, making him the quintessential guest for selling in the age of AI. GreyCyan provides a practical AI solution that helps small and mid-sized businesses, including manufacturers, uncover hidden inefficiencies, improve decision making, and free teams to focus on high value, human centered work. Is this guy not the perfect guest for us? Its offerings include custom AI tools, etc. Nish, I can call you Nish, yeah?
Yeah, Nish is fine.
Oh man, so glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome.
So glad to be here. Thanks for the invite. It's
Absolutely.
lovely having you. Lovely being here, actually. Sorry.
So, right off the bat, I need to drill into the name. I got two colors as a name of a company. What? Tell me about that.
Um,
Product, rather. Yeah,
the short answer, and I'll also give you a long explanation.
please.
The short answer is I was bored. I was bored of well, back in the day we didn't have ChatGPT to come up with the names.
Yeah.
So me not being a native speaker and coming from India 13 years back and trying to form a company, um, trying to have a catchy name
Yeah.
was kind of a bit of a battle for me. And after a few iterations, I gave up. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So at that point, I was driving down and I saw a building that had this graffiti and it was kind of very greenish, grayish.
Okay.
Like, how's GreyCyan? And I came up with the name, I registered, and then I went back and I told my wife, hey, I've formed a company, it's called GreyCyan. She's like, what kind of a name is it? I'm like, okay, but I can't do anything now. So that was that. That was a done deal.
Oh wow.
And so that's how we came up with the name GreyCyan. Fast forward in the age of AI, last year, I incorporated another company. And this time, after 8 years of taunts from my wife, I
The new
wanted to do
company
it
is Blue Orange. No, I'm sorry.
orange blue. Yes, maybe.
I could
No.
not resist. Go ahead.
Uh, oh my God, if I had done that, I would have been in big trouble. But anyway, so we were already into the age of AI, and a lot of things were happening, a lot of things were changing, and there was a lot of buzz, and there still is a lot of buzz and lots going on. So who is the source of truth on AI? So then I formed Honest AI.
Nice.
And then I merged the two together. And I don't think my wife is still convinced, but I'll leave it at that.
This is, we can go into a whole tangent about
Oh,
wives
let's.
and convincing, but
Oh my
so
God.
drill down a little bit into what your company does. I mean, I read the marketing blurb, to talk about better decision making and freeing up people to do human tasks. But what does that mean to us real life? Tell me about your company and what you all do for people.
Right. We started as GreyCyan as a very traditional web development, boring digital marketing type company. back in 2018. 2018 is also the time when I did my AI certifications from MIT. It was like that long back.
Okay.
And I really want to do something in AI, but I just couldn't figure out at that point in time. It was like 8 years back, nothing was really moving at the speed it is now. So, couple of years down, I reignited the spirit. Let's do something in AI. And before ChatGPT exploded and came out publicly, we were piloting AI at select enterprise clients. They really liked it, but at that point in time, it was prohibitively expensive. So
Mm.
we couldn't convince them to go move past pilot into production. And then that same year in November, we had ChatGPT, and now the world's going crazy. So we pivoted very fast from a very traditional digital marketing company into AI company. And in the beginning, there was a race. What should we do in AI? But now, as we've gotten through the last 2 years, we've realized where our niche is. Our niche specifically is in small to medium American manufacturing, healthcare, education space. And so we build AI solutions for such customers. However, um, and one of the things about your podcast, there are a lot of AI tools that are helping us with marketing, sales, and they're fundraising to the tune of millions and billions. And they're still not there, and they're still not getting the results that we want. We don't focus on that front end. We rather focus on the back end of a company, which in manufacturing is also called hidden factory, which is your back office.
Okay.
All of the administrative tasks, mundane tasks, repetitive tasks. I believe AI is at this point, the maturity of AI, it's a better fit in the back end rather than in the front end. I mean, of course, it can help in the front end, but it can do a lot more in the back end, which means efficiencies, right? Workflow efficiencies, taking over tasks that no humans want to do, right? So that type. So we focused on that and we produced really amazing results. And you'll be surprised, there are a lot of back-end tasks in selling as well that we've automated for our clients, and they're so happy. So this is in
Please
a
give us
nutshell
a
what we do.
couple of kind of lifetime examples so that it brings it home for us rather than, you're giving me a great overview of it, and I'm wondering if you could drill down into something specifically that you've done so we can follow along.
I'll give you a few examples, but
Please.
before I give you the example, I'll actually start with this printed magazine that we have. This is our January edition focused on manufacturing. Uh, Section 3.2 is actually talking about how some of the more intelligent manufacturing companies are automating their engineering centers so that they can churn out and process purchase orders, sales RFP codes faster.
Okay.
This is a case study, big company, Jabil Electronics, but we're more focusing on SMB manufacturing in that we have an amazing example where we have a client who is in yacht brokerage industry, and they sell big boats. They have about 100 agents across US and Canada,
Hmm.
and they have a big website that gets them leads day in, day out, working hours, after hours, weekends, long weekends. And you would agree to this, the faster you can get to a lead, the better chances you'd convert or even get a hold of them,
100%.
right? So now the problem with these guys is that somebody is sitting, no matter if it's a long weekend or what, is sitting there looking at an incoming lead, assigning it to an appropriate agent. And it's a very repetitive task, mundane task. I would say not something that an average human would like to do, right? Sitting there and assigning
Right.
when they should be sleeping or when they should be partying. Imagine 31st night and the lead comes in. What do you do? You attend to the lead or you go to the party.
Right.
So we built an AI agent that takes a look at the incoming lead, makes sense of what the lead is, what are they asking. Primarily, the purpose of the sales agent is to assign it to an appropriate broker agent. So, and you'd be surprised, many times when the inquiries come in, people don't actually write where they are located. So you could be sitting in LA looking for a boat, but if you get matched up with someone in Tampa, it's a waste. So we had to make sense of that. Now, the interesting thing about technology is that we've got metadata. So we can detect what the location of the lead is, what was the IP. Of course, you can be on a virtual IP or a private network and you could
Right.
fake your IP, which happens most often. Like I also have my virtual IPs on and I'm checking different websites. So that's not the full source of truth. We check their phone number area codes. We check any information markers. After compiling all the information, sales agent makes a determination how convinced it is. Is it very convinced, moderate, or low? If the agent is very convinced, within few seconds it's routed to the appropriate agent for a follow-up. If it's moderate, it still gets through what it thinks is right, but it also flags to an admin team. And if it's not confident at all, it does not get assigned. It gets assigned to an admin whenever they're able to get to it.
Gotcha.
So by doing this, we're taking care of more than 95% of the inquiries within 2 to 3 seconds, rather than somebody sitting there and assigning it when they get to it.
Right.
And
Well,
by
I mean,
doing
that's
this,
crucial because you find that when people are shopping, it's the mentality. It's the only thing that I have to do right now. It's the only thing that I'm focused on is what I'm doing. If I'm shopping right now, it's all encompassing. I want a new boat, whatever it is. It's it's 100% of my attention in the moment. And if someone doesn't respond in that same way with that, within that time span, whoever does, I should say, is going to be the person that gets my attention first, primarily, first, and going out longer because they hooked me in the beginning. Everybody else, they look worse by virtue of not having responded as quickly, even though they may be a better fit.
this has happened to us so many times,
Sure.
and we'll get to it. Was having an issue with experience, sorry, not verifying my identity. So I tried calling them so many times. You know, same example as you took just now. You're sitting on a website, and if there's somebody, most likely it's an AI, but if an AI gets to assign you to a human quickly, that's your win there. Now, I was calling Experian and I was trying to verify my identity. I desperately needed to get to an agent. I could not reach an agent, and the AI would keep blocking me, and I'm still not able to verify myself.
Yeah,
Right?
it could make you crazy, and that's when people go somewhere else. So when you think about it, right, there are salespeople who are concerned that, oh my goodness, AI is here. They're gonna create these bots that are gonna replace me. And what do you say to that? Do you think that that's a valid worry? Is it a worry in some sectors, not others? Like, what does the future look like to you in terms of AI and the professional salesperson?
I once read a story, and it's a very popular story in the world of entrepreneurship. So, once upon a time, there was a village. Village needed water. There were two people who ventured to bring water into the village. One of them started a daily service. He would run to the well, fill up the tank, come back, provide water. And he continued doing that every day. but that would get him worn out, tired. There was a new technology. The technology was pipe. The other guy installed the pipes. He didn't have to run. He just sat, and in a matter of like few weeks, the first guy was out of business. Second guy was in the business. So that's technology, and it's standard. This is what happens. When we got cars, people who used to drive the carts, whoever adopted became a taxi driver. Whoever didn't is now obsolete.
Right.
We got calculators, we got computers, we got laptops. Now we have smartphones.
Yeah.
BlackBerry versus Apple.
Right.
It's the same thing. You adopt and you leapfrog. You don't, you die.
Right.
However, why this thing is coming up again and again in this discussion about AI is because the way AI has spread has led many to believe that AI is going to take over. It's the sci-fi everybody used to, worry about, um, and it's uncontrolled. The the biggest opportunity there is uncontrolled. AI is grown like a mushroom, but everybody is now realized or started to realize it's actually not as good as it's been pitched, right? So I used to be a big fan of ChatGPT. Then there was Perplexity, Claude, and every different type of AI that you can imagine. There are so many LLMs people can use. Eventually, I've realized ChatGPT is good at certain tasks, is not good at certain tasks. So if I have to search, I would not go to ChatGPT, I'd go to Gemini. But if I have to get an email written, I'd go to ChatGPT, not Gemini.
Right.
Even this being said, the worry that salespeople have that it's going to replace them is not true. One, because different types of AI are good at different things, and no one AI is an AGI, fully AGI yet. Even if that were to be the case, in selling, you're not selling to a robot. Well, maybe we get there someday where a robot is selling to your robot. Right now, you're
Mm-hmm.
selling to humans, and therefore you need to be there. And just like the experience I had with experience, I did not like when I got stonewalled. However, if the bot was intelligent enough, it would have routed me to an agent,
Right.
right? And I would have loved it. Absolutely. Therefore, understand and adapt AI. Don't fight it, is my advice.
Yeah, I think, the way that we phrase that often is in the show is we'll say we want to lean into technology, but we don't want to lean on it. And today it seems like when you're saying if you needed to search something, you would go Gemini. If you wanted to write something, you would go Chat. I found the same thing. I had to do some slides, and Chat could manage matching my website colors, blah blah blah, to the slides, but Claude couldn't. And so I'm learning which engines do what. But I think as a professional salesperson, what we have to remember is just that it's you have to remember that what you're bringing is your humanity, because the as you just said, if I want information, I can go. I mean, you can Google it, but you can go to Gemini. I can get more information about your product than you could provide me, and I can do it. I can get more, better, more complete, unbiased, and faster. So if you think your job as a sales professional is to bring me information, you're incorrect. Your job as a sales professional is really to mitigate the risk for me, to make me feel as though I'm not going to make a foolish decision and pick something that will hurt me later. And how do I get that? How do I get that feeling? I can't get that feeling, like you said, certain engines are better than others. So I can't really trust what I'm seeing. So how do I get that?
The only time, yes, yeah, you're right. And while you were talking, I was thinking about this. Tell me one person or anybody
Yeah.
who's bought from an AI.
No, it's
Who,
only low level. It's point and click technology, right? So, sales professional, if you're selling something that's commoditized,
Yes.
yeah, you're in
Yeah.
trouble. Yeah, AI is going to take your job. Just like Amazon put the corner store out of business in a lot of places. But what I also noticed is that, so if we go back, right, historically, you're talking about the guy with the water. So a billion years ago, or whatever, well, let's just go, when I was a kid, you had a butcher shop, you had a bakery, right? And you had all these specialty places. And then the supermarket evolved. And then people could get everything they wanted in one place. Boy, how convenient. But what I see now is a lot of butcher shops opening up.
Yes.
Why is that?
To your point, the demand for handmade watches, the demand for handmade shirts, and the price that they command, I can't even believe. And it's again the perception. One, it's the perception. Second, people have, yes, it is actually the perception because people have started realizing, do you want something that's commoditized or specially crafted?
Right,
And that's where you as a salesperson can sell a product that's not commoditized.
right. You've got to curate the experience, and that's I think what we're bringing is we have to make sure that we're giving you an experience that's as specialized as my local butcher shop. I can buy a steak in Acme or ShopRite, but if I go to Mikey's Meats in Matawan, the guy's telling me when it came in, how it was cut, why it's this quality. I'm buying that expertise. I'm buying that elevated experience.
That's so true. I mean, I'm the same. Of course, you can get the chicken from supermarket, but I'm a I'm a goat lover. So to get the goat meat, I have to go to that butcher shop that I know sells it well,
So
right?
tell me
So
how that
that thing.
relates. Like when I think of GreyCyan or Honest AI, tell me about your product offerings, what you're bringing to the client, and how you separate yourself from somebody that can just find a lot of what you're doing, or maybe do their own prompts and try to create something. Like, why is it better to go with you?
Great question. Exactly the same reason you mentioned, the human selling. And it has happened so many times
Yeah.
that because it's me on the call, I've done within GreyCyan crazy amounts of projects, more than 500. I bring that all experience. Now, imagine talking to an AI and trying to get that information, that credibility, that empathy, right? So it's not to say that GreyCyan doesn't have an AI in the sales process. It does, right? When a lead comes in, emails get sent out automatically. I don't touch them.
Right.
It's only after somebody replies, now I have to call them,
Right.
right? So this is what we are trying to do is we build AI not to replace people, but AI to augment people. It's not, it is just not what we've done in our company, but we do for our clients, just like that sales agent I talked about. There's another example. Um, one of our clients in manufacturing, they build proposals, obviously, all the time. With manufacturing, when you become a certain size and big, you have to submit technical proposals, which have a lot of calculations.
Okay.
Now, when you get to do that, you're easily spending 20, 30 hours a week just putting together one proposal. There's so many calculations. You have to go to engineering, you have to refer to the drawings, back and forth with the engineering. Now, we are not asking you to replace engineering, but what if there is a system that, based on the RFP, creates an initial proposal, sends it to the appropriate team for approval, and once it's approved, come back to you without you having to coordinate all of this,
Right.
how fast you've made your sales cycle. This is something that we've already done. And also because we understand. I'm a chemical engineer. I've worked in oil and gas. I understand the industry. Hence, if there's a manufacturer, small to medium,
Yeah.
wants to implement and bring efficiencies, we can do it. We get it. There's another client in Hartford. not Hartford, actually, near Hartford in Connecticut. They're building an ERP with us. In that ERP, um, they need a knowledge where an AI can read drawings,
Okay.
right? Now imagine how powerful it would be for a salesperson to read the drawings when that person is not technical, but a client is expecting you to answer it. If you can get an AI to get you a general answer of what a specific product's drawing, and if they have a question about that, if you can get that to the client faster, how much credibility you've built,
Right.
rather than the other guy who sent the question to his technical team and that technical guy is on a break for next 5 hours. So that's what we do. We understand this industry. It's about bringing that subject matter expertise, which at least for now is are irreplaceable, no matter what with AI. Hence, we can help in this domain.
Yeah, I think so. It seems to me too that it comes down to individual salespeople and their businesses. So you've got to choose a route, professional salesperson, that takes you to a place where, you're not going to be compromised by AI, but rather enhanced by it, as Nish is saying. So if you were, for example, selling MRI equipment to health facilities, maybe I'm not getting a bunch of inbound leads, but I'm a sales professional. I've got to find more hospital systems and local clinics to get into to pitch my MRI machine. How could I use AI to enhance my job and make things better for me?
Thanks for asking me. I was doing the exact same thing the other day. Um, and so I'm sitting here wondering, how can I approach a certain size of companies in Atlanta area?
Okay.
So I went on Sales Navigator, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I started putting bunch of different filters. Now it gave me a list, but in order for me to go and find the person, the contact details, it's a mundane task, just like the MRI guy. What do? You ask an AI agent if that AI agent is now connected to Apollo or Lucia to grab the list.
I don't know what Apollo and Lucia are.
Apollo and Lucia are contact databases,
Okay.
the ones that provide mobile numbers, phone, email addresses, and
Okay.
etc. So if your AI is now connected to Lucia or Apollo or ZoomInfo, and you know this is the list, and you know this is my target audience, you'd go on LinkedIn of those companies, find the guy, go to Apollo, get the numbers, either send an email or let you know that this is the final list, you call or you email, right? You've
And I can have an
basically,
AI, I can create an AI agent to do that cross reference and send that email for me. Tell me how that works.
ah, absolutely. It's as difficult as it sounds. It's actually very easy.
Yeah.
That's actually the definition of an agent, which does the work for you rather than just provides you with an answer, with an analysis. So we're building. So there's a very complex, complicated system. And we actually have many systems to generate leads. One of the systems, which is the best source of leads for us, is so complex to get the lead information. We have to open the site, we have to open that lead, we have to go there, copy the email, come back. It drives me nuts. By the time I've done that, 1 or 2 hours are gone because I'm in the middle of a meeting and a lead comes in. I have to get out of the meeting, go there, get the information. So we've partially built now. We are in the middle of fully building it out. An AI agent that would every 5 seconds refresh that website. And if there's a new lead, grab the email, come to my inbox, create an email, most likely more standardized than custom, of course,
Mhm.
with some context to what the lead has said in the lead form, and then send an email. And if the recipient doesn't respond, send a reminder every other day until they either say yes or no, or yes, let's talk, right? So without me doing that.
Right.
Hence, I said the best use of AI right now, the one that AI can do really efficiently without making too many mistakes, is the backend, the operations,
Mm-hmm.
mundane tasks, boring tasks, repetitive tasks. You can just easily get it done with AI.
So, in the example that you gave, if I'm a professional salesperson selling MRI equipment, can I do this whole thing through ChatGPT and Apollo or ZoomInfo? Do I need the LinkedIn piece of it? And why is that?
Because every system is walled.
Okay.
You can't you can't access the LinkedIn environment except if you're logged into LinkedIn. You
Sure.
cannot access Apollo except if you've purchased the subscription. And now the two things must be talking, and then you must be linked to your email system. So you kind of need to build, and I'm a big fan of middlewares.
Right.
Absolutely crazy. Now I love middlewares because they don't replace your existing technology.
Sure.
You keep doing things the way you do, but now there's a middleware that connects with five different things and does the thing for you. So you don't
Wow.
have to go through that change management, learn new things and a new system. And now the new system can do five other things. Build a middleware, keep connecting. This is exactly what we did for one of our other clients. They are based out of Indianapolis. They are in manufacturing. There are only three people in the company, entire company, who know how to enter products into an ERP system.
Okay.
And imagine if two of them go or they're on vacation, you're screwed. It
Right.
takes 40 to 50 minutes to enter a product, create parts, bill of material, sales order, blah, blah, blah. We built a middleware that connects with their existing ERP. So we've not replaced your ERP. You give one command within 5 seconds, the entire thing is done,
Wow.
right? So you have to build a middleware. And again, true with this MRI example, you have to build a middleware that connects different things, is authenticated to access that information in order for that agent to do something for you.
Right. So, we're talking about, lead getting and getting the right contact, but also think about the mundanity of the MRI salesperson who has to pull the right equipment, right? All the various components, because one MRI machine may have, you know, 200 different options that can be added or not. And if you could automate that process, how much time is that professional salesperson then going to have freed up so they can spend it doing what we do best, and that's being belly to belly with the client?
Exactly. That's why I said we always build and we always advocate human in the loop AI, not humans without the loop,
Right, right.
right?
That makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to get off of that for 1 second and ask you to think back. What what would you say is the best advice if you had a person brand new getting into selling today, selling some sort of a hardware or even a software product to enterprise people, to corporations? What kind of advice would you give a brand new person coming into the business?
I'm actually not worried about new graduates, to be honest.
Okay.
If your question is about new graduate versus lateral moves, because younger people are very familiar and comfortable with AI. I'm actually more concerned about the
Okay,
older
so
people.
give some advice to the old dogs like me. Come on, Nish. Go ahead.
Right. So actually, ChatGPT or any GPT or any LLM has made our lives so much more easier
Yeah.
that I can be a lawyer. Someone else can be reviewing. So I used to be in oil and gas. We used to get 300-page RFP, right? We had contract people, we had engineers looking at all of that and trying to make sense. And you, as a salesperson, you're sitting on the fence. Obviously, you're a new guy or maybe an old dog. trying to make sense of 300 pages where it's actually
Yeah.
not possible for you to comprehend the legalese, to comprehend the technical
Mm.
specifications. Now we have LLMs,
Yeah.
right? Enter the information, get the analysis, make your own judgment, go talk to the client,
Right.
right? So use AI. No, don't be scared of AI, but always be skeptical of AI because as Google also says, AI makes mistakes, and it does. So
Right.
today morning, we got a contract back. We sent a contract for signatures. The client sent an email back. Hey, I had some issues, and I'm reading the email. Literally copied, pasted the entire ChatGPT without even understanding the context of certain clauses in a
Right.
contract. So yes, AI misses it, but get comfortable with AI. There are so many courses. There are so many people teaching about AI, and it's become so inexpensive
Right.
that use it to actually compete with the younger ones and
Okay.
be better because you have all the years of experience, which a young person doesn't have. But the only reason a youngster is beating you at your game is because they know how to use it really well.
Yeah, they're leveraging the technology, and this is a very important point for all of us, whether you've been in the game for 10 minutes or 50 years. It's super important to realize that I don't know if you're familiar with, you remember a book called Who Moved My Cheese?
Yes, I've heard of that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was a million years ago, and the point of the book was, this mouse comes out every day, and there's a piece of cheese there, and he sits down and gorges himself, and he's really chubby little mouse, and every day he comes out and the cheese is there and eats the cheese, and then, I'm giving the abridged version here, and then the cheese moves to another spot, and the mouse comes out and there's no cheese, and he's like, all right, what do I do? And he just stands there, and then another mouse straps on some sneakers and starts running and looking and finds the cheese, right? So the sales lesson in that is kind of relevant to what you're just saying to me now, is that someone moved our cheese, right? It's not the same as it used to be. If you go back X amount of years ago, the salesperson's job was to bring information that the client didn't know about. That's not the case anymore. The client knows more about my product than I do when I show up.
Right. Yeah.
So because of Google and Gemini and Chat, etc., it, you know, Google has trumped the information game. And the idea of, showing up by surprise, right? We've got so many we've got voicemail, we've got agents that stop and ask who's on the phone and why. We've got press one for this, press three for that. We have the experience you had with Experian where you can't get through the all. So I think what I'm saying is our cheese has been moved, and right now our clients are hungry
Yes.
for really great human communication, but we can't get there unless we use the technology.
Yes. And the one of the biggest examples, we have a guy on our sales team who is 65. So he's sold all his life.
Right.
And he's gotten so used to AI that earlier he used to wait for me to write up a scope for a RFP. Now he turns it out and on me is like, hey, this is an inquiry, this is scope of work. I use ChatGPT. Let's just build a proposal now. Like,
Wow.
okay, sure. Right. So that's what you have to do.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. And like Nish is saying, there's a bunch of ways to, I mean, I could replace the boiler in my house if I go on YouTube and follow a step by step. You can do most. I wouldn't. I'd call a plumber, but I'm saying you can
Don't
do.
do that.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
do
be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the learning. It's
Right.
not it's not so daunting that we can't learn the pieces of it we need to learn so that we can compete with people that know it more naturally from being younger and having adapted to it sooner, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Nietzsche, any final words for us? Anything you want to talk about your company, charities you support, any last minute shout outs or information you'd like us to have?
Thanks for having me on your show. If anybody who's in manufacturing wants to really know how they can implement AI in their company, we've written a full edition of our Honest AI magazine for American manufacturing, small, medium businesses, and it covers any type of operation, supply chain, logistics, procurement, finance, HR, um, you name it. We've got everything covered, different use cases of how you can implement AI, and we are writing next few editions on how AI can make your ERP smarter if you're in manufacturing, and again for American small and medium businesses. So if you'd like a copy of this, contact us. It's a limited run print edition. And if you'd like to learn about the future upcoming editions on manufacturing ERP and how AI is changing the game and what you can do, subscribe to our Honest AI channel on LinkedIn. And one question you asked about the charity, I love donating to Sick Kids Toronto. I believe no kid should ever be sick. They are such a blessing. So if you don't mind, please donate. It's a wonderful cause.
You
Thank
know,
you.
I happen to know that organization. There was a wonderful I spent a lot of time in with the foundation that helps patients with thalassemia in the United States and throughout the world. And we do have a big center in thalassemia with sick kids in Toronto. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The drug company that changed the game for patients with thalassemia, which I'm not sure that you know well, but it's a blood disease that
Yeah.
affects,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the company that took over and made a drug that used to be only done subcutaneously with a needle, but the company that made the oral treatment, so avoiding the needle for patients, popular, was a company out of Toronto
Oh, wow.
that was they
Apatix?
it was yes, it was Apotex became Apple Pharma, and they were purchased by Chiesi, which still has the drug now. But yeah, Barry and his
Barry
wife.
Chilman. Barry Chilman. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know Barry. I
Oh,
went
wow.
there to meet him. I work closely with his scientists for for this drug and thalassemia. Of course, he and his wife tragically died.
Yeah. Few years
And
back. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that was terrible. But yeah, that's why I know that organization. Holy cow!
Yeah. Wow. Small
What a
world.
connection, Nish.
I know. We are buddies.
Unbelievable. All right, man. Are you physically located in Toronto?
I just recently moved to Atlanta.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, Nish, I can't tell you how much. I mean, you have my head spinning with possibilities. There's so many things that, I want to jump on and look at, after having spoken to you. I'm sure the audience appreciates the education and, everybody listening. There was so many important components that Nish brought, and then at the end, remember, he brought in a great charity component. And I think one of the things that we need to do as professional salespeople, adopt the AI and then use our talents to make money and to make money and donations for organizations like Nish
Awesome.
was mentioned. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank.
All right.
Ready to take your sales team or event to the next level? Visit franksomma.com to discover how Frank can coach your top performers, deliver a tailored workshop for your team, or captivate your audience with a content-packed keynote at your next event. Frank's best-selling book, B2B is Really P2P, is now available on Amazon and Frank's website. Here's a special offer. As a valued listener, mention this podcast when you contact Frank and receive a 10% discount on your first coaching session, keynote, or workshop booking.
That's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Selling in the Age of AI. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to all of the topics we discussed, and of course, to connect with our amazing guests. I have to shout out big love to my production team, Neeks, Angelo, Nico of Digital Presence. You guys rock. If you want your digital presence to explode, check these guys out at digitalpresence.team. And until next time, remember, people can't point and click you. Be the difference maker for your prospects and clients.